I didn't realize how much of dating had once felt like an audition. I'd meet someone, and somewhere underneath the excitement, there was this quiet question. Does he like me? Is he going to call? Does he see me as something he will be interested in? Is this going to go somewhere? And I didn't understand it at the time, but so much of my attention was focused on being chosen that I wasn't always stopping to ask whether I was choosing him. And when that changed, dating started to feel completely different. Hi, I'm Ty Love, and this is Love Without Chasing, How I Love Differently Now. If you've been here through the first two seasons, then you know the story. You know, my story didn't start with me knowing how to love myself perfectly, right? It started with me realizing how often I was losing myself trying to be loved. Season one was about seeing it. Season two was about healing it. And now season three is about what happens when I'm actually start living from that healed version of myself. And one of the first places I noticed the difference was in dating. I used to think dating was mostly about finding out whether someone wanted me. I don't mean that I was consciously sitting there thinking, please choose me, please choose me. And that wasn't it. It wasn't like that. It was much more like I'll pay attention to how quickly he responded, how interested he seemed, whether he was pursuing me, whether he thought I was attractive, whether he seemed excited about me. And of course, those things matter. I wanted to be desired. I wanted someone to be interested in me. I wanted someone who was intentional about me. But somewhere along the way, I realized something. Someone being interested in me doesn't automatically make them right for me. And that sounds obvious, but emotionally, that's a very different way of dating. Because when you're used to measuring connection by whether someone chooses you, their interest can start feeling like evidence. Evidence that you're beautiful, evidence that you're enough, evidence that you're finally getting the kind of love you wanted. And that's a dangerous place to make a decision from. Because sometimes you can be so relieved that someone wants you that you don't stop to ask whether you actually like what they're offering. I remember noticing something different in myself. I wasn't trying to rush to the conclusion anymore. I wasn't trying to figure out whether what something could be, what it could become before I even had the experience of what it actually was. I could meet someone, enjoy the conversation, notice the attraction, notice the chemistry, and still be curious, not anxious, curious. There's a difference. Anxiety asks, where is this going? Curiosity asks, who is this person? Anxiety wants those answers right now. Curiosity is willing to watch. And that was new for me because I realized I didn't have to turn every connection into a decision. I didn't have to know if someone was my future after a few good conversations. I didn't have to attach meaning to every text. I didn't have to build a relationship in my head before one had actually been built in real life. I could simply pay attention. And once I stopped trying to figure out whether someone was going to choose me, I had more room to actually notice who they were. I started asking myself, how do I feel after spending time with this person? Do I feel relaxed? Do I feel like I can be myself? Do their words match what they do? Do I respect the way they move through the world? Do our values actually align? Do I like who I am when I'm around them? Do I feel emotionally safe? And maybe one of the biggest questions became, am I attracted to this person? Or am I attracted to the possibility of finally being chosen? Those are not always the same things. And I think this is where discernment began to replace desperation for me. Not because I stopped wanting love. I still want love deeply. I still want partnership. I still want affection. I still want someone to choose me. But I don't want to be chosen so badly that I forget to choose them too. Now, when I meet someone, I'm not walking into the experience trying to say, how can I make this work? I'm thinking, let's see what this is. Let's see who you are. Let's see how you communicate. Let's see how you handle disappointment. Let's see whether your actions match your words. Let's see how I feel around you. Let's see whether our lives actually fit together. Let's see if you lie. Let's see, can you be honest? And I'm not saying this from a cold or detached place. You know, I'm still feminine. I'm still soft. I'm still open. I'm still affectionate. I'm still hopeful. I'm still capable of getting excited about someone. The difference is I'm not handing someone the power to determine my worth just because I'm interested in them. I can like you and still observe you. I can be attracted to you and still have standards. I can hope this becomes something without pretending it already is. I can enjoy being pursued without making being pursued the goal. And maybe that's what healing actually gave me. Not the ability to stop caring, the ability to care without abandoning myself. Because when you stop dating for validation, you become much more available for discernment. You can actually see the person in front of you, not the person you hope they'll become, not the person you could help them become, not the version of them you created because you really wanted this to work, just them. And then you can decide what you want to do with what you see. That's freedom. Because I'm no longer asking, how can I make this person choose me? I'm asking, is this the kind of relationship I want to choose? And I think this is where my understanding of being wanted changed. I'm not as impressed by being wanted as I once was, because now I understand. Being wanted isn't the same thing as being valued. Attention isn't the same as being intentional. Chemistry isn't the same as compatibility. Potential isn't the same as partnership. Someone can want access to you and still not know how to love you. Someone can be deeply attracted to you and still be completely wrong for you. Someone can pursue you and still not have the best intention or the capacity to build something healthy with you. So now I pay attention to more than whether someone wants me. I pay attention to what they are actually offering me. Because I just don't want to be wanted. I want to be well loved. And maybe that's the part I didn't expect. I thought healing would make me care less. Instead, it made me pay attention differently. I can enjoy being wanted without needing it to tell me who I am. I can be excited about someone without deciding they're the person I've been waiting for. I can let something unfold without trying to secure the ending. And somewhere in that space, the question changed. Do they want me? Became, do I want this? And that question changed the way I date. Because maybe dating differently doesn't mean becoming harder. It doesn't mean pretending you don't care. It doesn't mean playing games. It doesn't mean waiting 3 hours to text back because someone said that that's how you keep somebody interested. It doesn't mean becoming so independent that you don't allow anyone close. For me, Dating differently means staying connected to myself while I'm getting to know someone else. I can be open without being attached to an outcome. I can be hopeful without creating a future that hasn't happened. I can receive someone's interest without making it proof that I'm enough. And I can walk away from something that isn't right for me without believing I lost. Because sometimes walking away isn't losing the person. Sometimes it's choosing not to lose yourself. So I'm curious, when you date, do you find yourself paying more attention to whether someone wants you or whether you actually like the relationship they're offering you? I really love to hear what that question brings up for you in the comments. I'm Ty Love, and this is Love Without Chasing. Around here, we don't chase love. We choose it, and we choose ourselves too. And once I started paying attention to what I actually wanted, I noticed something else. There were things that didn't sit right with me anymore. Things I used to explain away, things I used to give another chance, things I used to convince myself weren't that serious. Until I realized I didn't need a courtroom full of evidence to honor what I already felt. That's where we're going next. Episode 2, I stopped ignoring red flags. I'll see you in the next episode.